My name is Jason Freeman, and I'm a tracker with American Bridge. So what it means is that I go to as many events as I can get to and film them from beginning to end.
New Hampshire is an extraordinary part of this process, and I don't think Donald Trump's going to survive New Hampshire, to be honest with you, because I have too much confidence in you all.
The whole purpose of tracking is about accuracy. It's making sure that what the candidates are saying is true. And that's why when I'm listening, I pay particular attention to anything that's statistical, anything that someone is saying absolutely happened in history.
I have 67 honorary degrees.
About 20% of our dairy farmers.
$1,500 tax credit.
400,000 jobs.
250,000 Syrians were murdered.
I think the most interesting thing was that a staff person licked my camera while I was filming a Rand Paul town hall.
So I think ideally I'd like it kind of just hanging out here on the, let's rotate. Actually the other way. That way we can go in. I'm Charlie Pierce. I'm an operations consultant with Governor Chris Christie's presidential campaign. I'm sort of the chief roadie around here. I handle logistics, event setup, optics, visuals, earned media stuff. So he just arrives, the bus comes in, he walks to the stage, the mics work. You know, we're kind of like the offensive line. We're just protecting the quarterback so that he can throw touchdown passes. I'm gonna tape this down. The most exciting part of my job is getting to hear the Gov speak, actually. He tells this really poignant story about his mom. It makes me cry every time.
On Valentine's Day of 2004, she was diagnosed with lung cancer. So I took the red-eye flight home from San Diego. When I got there, they'd already started to give her morphine. And finally, she woke up, and it was so typical of my mother. She hadn't seen me for a week. And she said to me, "Christopher, it is a work day. Go to work." Like, Mom, what are you afraid of not getting your taxpayers' money's worth? Like, I'll make up the time. Don't worry about it. I'm not going to work. She grabbed my hand and she said, "Christopher, go to work. There's nothing left unsaid between us." It was the single most powerful moment of my life. My mother was giving me permission to let her go.
I actually like to watch the people in the crowd now when he tells that story, because you just know they're going to choke up. And you go to these town halls with the Gov and like full range of human emotions. You know, you laugh, you cry, you think about things.
I think what's really interesting about candidates is there are some that put on this performance facade and this whole like on-stage persona.
I don't know if you saw the cover of the Daily News, but it attacked and condemned Republicans for praying for the victims of the attack rather than calling for action.
What I will tell you is I think it is appropriate to pray for people who have significant loss. And secondly,
and it's also really refreshing to see them when they've turned it off and the camera's not on them and they're just hanging out and chatting and being human.
I'm ruining my reputation.
Your top looks a lot better, honestly. You gotta untuck your shirt. It's a little more comfortable. It's not the most presidential move, but.
This is a surprise to not know you were coming.
Hampshire.
I know.
Coming as that. That's what we do. Oh, wow. You guys like hot sauce?
I do.
Slap your mama hot sauce. It's so good you want to slap your mama. You got to be kidding me.
Thank you
Thank you guys. Thanks. My mother would like this. Kind of looks like her, doesn't it?
Doesn't have the pearls. It's a ritual, and we even have your brother do it and get behind the counter with the staff for picture.
Let's do it. The key question, are you registered to vote?
Yes, I am. I
Love to
wasn't
have your
when your
vote.
brother came here.
I'd like to thank the Academy.
I think what everyone has learned from this election so far is that being yourself is the best recipe for success. As inflammatory and divisive as the things Donald Trump says, what he has taught the rest of the field is that being yourself works. It's very important, and you'll see that the people who are doing really well are the most effective communicators.
Then the other day I heard for the first time a nice guy, so I'm not going to mention his name, but one of the candidates said, "And we'll build a wall." I said, "What?" My wife came to me, she said, "He just said you'll build a wall. They're going to build a wall the first time." So they're now, we will build a wall. And who's going to pay for the wall? Mexico. And they will pay.
Trump has managed to do is kind of open the door where a lot of folks who are feeling this now feel more comfortable about saying this. You know, a few years ago, they didn't talk about it. Trump is saying these things and now people are feeling more comfortable. I think that's a scary and bad situation. When people feel despair, when people feel angry, that becomes the territory, the climate in which demagogic-type people try to divide us up and pick out scapegoats, minorities, who we are supposed to hate. And I hope as a nation, we stand together and understand we're going to end the scapegoating. We are going to stand together and in an honest way address the real problems facing this country.
The job can have a real effect on your personal life. I'm amazed that I still have a girlfriend after 2.5 years of doing this. The schedule is, one of the toughest schedules you could have.
I've had enough visitors to feel like this is actually almost home, so the adjustment hasn't been too difficult.
Well, I would say the most fulfilling part about the job is that one person can actually make an impact on, the outcome of these elections. And I think most people, they don't get to be this close to the process. And so it's really fulfilling when you get to see the work that you do, have an impact.
I'm already nostalgic for my last night, but I'm excited for it just because I know how awesome and powerful and great it's going to feel. I'm looking forward to having that last beer just because I know how awesome it's going to feel.